I pray to the divinity in you.
Swami Rama directed his life toward the unification of science and spirituality. In 1969, Swamiji's master suggested that he go to the United States to help bring Eastern and Western science closer together by working with psychologists and medical doctors who were studying mental and physical phenomena. In 1970, he was invited by Dr. Elmer Green of the Miniature Foundation of Topeka, Kansas, to be a consultant in a research project investigating the voluntary control of involuntary states. In one of the first experiments he did, Swami Rama demonstrated excellent differential control of blood flow in the hands by raising the temperature of the left side of his right hand several degrees higher than the right side. As he later explains to Phil Donahue on the national TV show in 1979,
this is nothing like stopping heart and not stopping heart. There are two sets of muscles. One is called voluntary and another is involuntary system. So far, people think that involuntary system is not under our conscious control, but that's not true.
Our involuntary system can be controlled, you're saying?
Very easily.
Including our breathing?
Yes.
Can I control my breathing without thinking about it?
No.
in another experiment, Swamiji decreased and then increased his heart rate and demonstrated differential control over different sections of his heart. The next day he demonstrated under laboratory conditions that he could stop his heart. By putting his heart into atrial flutter, he obliterated his pulse for 17 seconds. After the experiment, he delivered a lecture as if nothing unusual had happened.
You shocked us earlier by saying you stop your heart. Could you explain that, please?
Yes, there are two ways of doing and having control over your involuntary system. One way is by regulating your motion of lungs and then controlling the pumping station that's called heart. Another way is by using your willpower, which comes through one-pointed mindedness. That can be done. That's not impossible, that's not difficult. But controlling heart is not the point. It's control of the autonomic nervous system, actually.
They also studied brain waves in the laboratory. Swamiji could produce alpha, beta, and theta brainwaves on command. Delta brainwaves are usually associated with deep sleep. In one experiment, Swami Rama produced delta waves for 25 minutes. He appeared to be sleeping, even snoring gently, but afterward could repeat almost verbatim everything that was said in the room at the time. In addition to the experiments in the foundation, Swamiji made frequent lecture tours. During a talk he delivered in Chicago, Swamiji asserted that it was possible for a yogi to turn on his subtle energy in a halo so intensely that it could be deciphered by the naked eye. Someone from the audience challenged him and asked Swamiji to demonstrate this so he could take a picture. Swamiji obliged. In an informal discussion with Dr. Green, Swami Rama demonstrated his ability to create and dissolve tumors through manipulating soft tissues. In another experiment, under carefully monitored laboratory conditions, Swami Rama caused a 14-inch knitting needle assembly placed 5 feet away from him to rotate 10 degrees without touching it. He did this 3 times in a row. A painter's face mask was modified to prevent any air currents from affecting the knitting needles and placed over Swamiji's face while the experiment was conducted. Swami Rama demonstrated other yogic abilities under informal circumstances, such as breaking a wooden ruler with what he called the electricity of the body, and writing down answers to questions that had not yet been asked. These experiments at the Miniature Foundation helped to revolutionize scientific thinking about the relationship between body and mind. Reports of these experiments experiments were published in national and international scientific journals: the Time Life 1973 Nature Science Annual, 1973 Encyclopedia Britannica Yearbook of Science, the World Book Science Annual 1974, and many others. After his work with the Miniature Foundation, Swami Rama went on to establish the Himalayan International Institute of Yoga Science and Philosophy of the USA. Swami Rama was the first yogi to subject himself to modern scientific methods of testing his states of consciousness while at the highest level of meditation. When questioned about these feats, he simply replied, "All of the body is in the mind, but not all of the mind is in the body."